Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays for you in the tier 6 French medium tank, the Bretagne Panther. Now the Bretagne Panther is a tier 6 version of the Panther pretty much, and it's the premium version of the VK 3002M, near enough. It has two premium brothers, which is the Wojciech and the Poodle, and both the Wojciech and the Poodle came out way before this tank, and they are very much, in terms of statistics, they are all pretty much exactly the same, except the Bretagne Panther's engine, there we go, got there in the end, the Bretagne Panther's engine is actually heavier than the Poodle and the Wojciech. So it means that the power to weight is actually slightly lower than the other two. So does it mean much? Not really, but it's a thing. And it's really the only difference between the Poodle and the Wojciech and the Bretagne Panther is that the Poodle, for example, gets 15.82 horsepower per ton ratio, and the Bretagne Panther only gets 15.38. So, yeah, it does have a slightly worse power to weight, but, like, in the long run, does that end up meaning anything? Not particularly. This tank does still feel fairly mobile, and it is a pretty damn nice tank. I have thoroughly enjoyed it, especially since they buffed the HP of these tanks, and that is because, obviously, they buffed the HP of a lot of the lower tier tanks, or should I say the tier 5s and 6s and 4s and whatever, got their low tier HP buffs. This tank got a buff to its HP as well, putting it up to 955, which means that you've just got a little bit extra HP to play with. You've got a little bit extra HP where you can take a hit, and say instead of facing a tier 8 and getting 2-shot or 3-shot, you tend to be able to take one extra hit generally. And by the way, I'm talking about like things with 300 alpha instead of getting like two shot by, say, CS52 lease. If it managed to just roll well enough, you can now take a third hit, stuff like that. And yeah, it's been a lot nicer to play with that extra HP. I'd say, because you are basically being able to take an extra hit, and it means you can just have a little bit extra power in trading, which can be nice. Especially since this tank has pretty damn nice DPM. I mean, the rate of fire is pretty damn good. The accuracy on the gun's pretty solid as well. And all round, this tank is just, yeah, fairly solid tank. And you can get it in the Season Pass as well. And yeah, you do get it at level 25, so especially if you bought the Ultimate Pass, you'll have this tank in your garage. And you'll have a pretty decent amount of fun with it. But if you own the Poodle and the Wojciech, is this tank actually worth buying? Well, no, you may as well stick to just owning the Poodle and the Wojciech, pretty much. So in terms of a crew on the Bretagne Panther, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Muffled Shot, Silent Driving, Steady Aim, and Run and Gun. The two gun perks in Steady Aim and Run and Gun, just to make the gun 10% more accurate and better at firing on the move, because that's always nice to do. And then the camo perks, because I'm a tier 6, I want to try and make my camo better, because it doesn't have the best camo in the universe, so if I can knock the camo down as much as possible, then it should help me stay unspotted against a lot of the tier 5s, and stay unspotted against like tier 7s and stuff like that. It just gives me the option to stay a little bit further back in those bad matchups especially, and give me more chance of staying unspotted and being able to use this blistering rate of fire to my advantage. And in terms of equipment on the Bretagne Panther, I run rammer, optics, and a camo net. So rammer, again, to make the DPM 10% more better, always, it's the advanced loader. The optics to make my view range better, because you can get the view range up to 473, which is nice. And the camo net, like I said, to make the camo better in general, because with that whole setup, you do get 325 meters of steel concealment on this tank, which isn't the best, quite frankly, but it's better than what it was. And just knocking it down like that means that instead of getting spotted pretty much all the time, you get spotted a hell of a lot less, which, again, can help you with your survivability. So in this first game with the Bretagne Panther, oh, this is a ram. Oh, yes. Oh, we'll take that every day. Goodbye, Mr. Brumbayer, and we get rid of him. We put ourselves up to 1,855 damage with 467 assistance. We are in a tier 8 game right now, which is not the best matchup in the universe for this tank. We managed to farm up from the little position we were in, which has helped us rack up the damage. And now we're going in to try and get some shots into the back end of this IS. We get one shot into the back of his turret, aim for his drive wheel. Unfortunately, the shot ends up going a little bit right and just just penning him, sorry, rather than tracking him. And we do finally get that shot in to track him, and he gets shut down. We end up getting a nice little bit of assistance from it as well. The KV-85 was ready for us, though, unfortunately, with his big 122mm gun, which slaps a shell into us and puts us down into a one-shot, which is not good for us because, well, now we're a one-shot for everything, and that could be a very, very painful time. But now I've got no hit points, I do have to be a bit more careful about where I go. So what I want to do is try and get back on the ridge lines to get shots into people like the KV-85 that are down in the dip at F6. But also, again, the spidey sensors are tingling. It's like, they won that flank running up the 7 line and the A line. So I think something might be coming up behind us to try and get shots at us. That would probably be what my brain is thinking because, well, where's the light tank? There's got currently a couple of things spotted trying to defend their cap. But the light tank and one of the heavy tanks hasn't been spotted for a bit and is potentially coming up behind us. So I want to try and get to a defensive position to try and stop that. We are going to climb the hill as well, because by doing that we can get us up again to the great sniping position we were in a minute ago, so that we can try and protect our team as best we can when they're spotting them up. So as you can see, a heavy tank gets spotted down there, then another heavy tank in the 110 gets spotted. We pop a shot, but unfortunately it doesn't pen. That's because it's AP, and AP is, with the 150 pen that the Bretagne Panther has, 150 pen is not going to go through that thing at that range. And there we go, the spidey sensors. The Wheelie Boy light tank is coming up. We pull back to make it a little bit harder for him to get a shot into us. If he did on the move, we might hit the rock. But fortunately enough, we managed to snap the shot in to shut down the AMD 178B. We have premium loaded, which is 194 penetration APCR, which is pretty damn nice. And we are ready to shoot something like the 110, or this juicy little Oho in the side. Hello, juicy little Oho, or should I say juicy big Oho, because it's not really little, is it? And we are just going to keep piling the shots in as much as we can, but unfortunately we only got 2 shells in there. Likelihood is though he's going to cross into a position where I might get one more in. Oh, he just stops. Oh, we'll take that. Oh, okay, thanks, RNG. Unfortunately, we don't quite get any more shots into that Oho, but we are up to 2.7k damage. And we know where the 110 is. We are capping, so it's like, well, we just may as well push forward, see if we can get some shots into these guys. We spot, well, the 110 is already spotted. We do manage to get 2 extra shots into that 110, but we do have the 2 guys in the cap. The heavy tank is trying to push in to get the reset, but the heavy tank won't get the reset, and we end up winning by the cap because they didn't really defend the base on assault. And we do finish the game with a really nice total for a tier 6 medium in a tier 8 game. We finished with the victory. The 1 kill, 3,000 damage, 1,873 base XP. Let's say the 473 assistance. 42,000 credits made as well, which isn't too bad for a tier 6 medium. Ace Tanker, the Confederate medal, and yeah, like I say, the 1873 base XP. A pretty damn nice game for the Bretagne Panther, which I find it thoroughly enjoying. The thing is, I do also really like the VK3002M, and the 3002M as a German medium tank is actually basically this tank, but just ever so slightly better, pretty much, because it's actually faster. This thing has a 55 km/h top speed in the Bretagne Panther, the Wojciech, and the Poodle, but so does the VK3002M. It actually has an 870 horsepower engine, which is 170 horsepower better than all 3 of these tanks, pretty much. Which means that it has a 20.91 horsepower per ton ratio, the VK3002M. It has a similar gun handling stats and all that sort of stuff, which means that it's just far more mobile. It gets up to that top speed really, really quick. It feels exceptionally nippy. And if you wanted to just put a traction system on, you easily hit the 60 kilometers an hour that tank can do. And it just made the tank feel great to play. And that's one thing that you'll notice if you played the 3002M, or you've played a lot of the 3002M and you know how that feels, and you come to play the Poodle, Wojciech, or the Bretagne Panther, you feel just how little bit more sluggish that these tanks are to that 3002M. It's a very, very good tank, that 3002M. I've always enjoyed playing it. And to get the premium versions was like, yes, come on! And you just, yeah, I always enjoyed these Panthers. More so than the actual Panther, because I never really enjoyed the Tech Tree Panther at tier 7, but the tier 6 versions of the Panther just felt better for their position right in the tier, and it always felt more enjoyable to play these ones than the tier 7. So as you can see, we are in the second game on Erlenberg. And Erlenberg, we are going to push very aggressively. We've managed to get 1 kill already, which was farming a an AFK Matilda Black Prince, sorry. And now we managed to get the shot in to finish off the MX-13 F3. Now we're going to look to see if we can get some cheeky shots into this T-34-85 between the buildings. I decide I'm going to destroy the destructible cover so that I can get some shots into this guy. And currently I'm like, okay, so what am I currently looking at of this T-34-85? Is he in a doorway or got some sort of stuff in front of him? It's awkward shots, as you can see. So we try and get one into his hull. Doesn't go anywhere near. And I decide, well, I'm just wasting too much time here. We're not spotted in this position at J6. And that makes me go, things that make you go, And we are just basically going to charge to H9, pretty much. Because you can see, we are pushing very aggressively. And we're just not getting spotted, especially firing at something like this KV2, which I know the KV2 is blind, but this is where our camo does also help us against the tier 6s, where there is a fair few tanks that are exceptionally blind. We're not getting spotted firing at these guys, which means there's just nothing. In my brain is going, there is nothing on this flank at all. I think they're all camping on the ridge line. So what we're going to do is charge towards this ridge and see if we can get ourselves into a good position to just keep farming out the damage. So this KV2 spotted again, so I'm just going to take the chance to keep getting some more shots into his rear end. And in fact, he's driven into a position which is just so easy for me to farm. Unfortunately, that shell ends up missing. I didn't really expect him to stop, but we do end up shutting down the KV2 and putting ourselves on for our 3rd kill with 1800 damage so far. And again, we're just going to keep moving, get up to the next ridge. And we're actually about to cap the encounter because they've not bothered. The T-34 is starting to, on the enemy team, enter the cap and contest it. So I'm like, okay, you know what? That's fine. I'm going to go and try and help my friend over here, this medium tank that's got really pushed in by the Wolverine and a Churchill 1. So we get to shut down the Churchill 1, and now we have... Oh, we get to shut down the Wolverine, sorry. And now we're against the Churchill 1. And this is where our DPM is so nice. This is where our rate of fire is great. And we are just absolutely eviscerating this poor bloke. And are we going to get the kill? Yes, we managed to shut down the Churchill 1 there. Put us on to 5 kills with 2.8k damage. But we aren't finished. We were just about to pop over to finish off the Ram Panzer, but we didn't quite get there in time. And fortunately for us, this 3001H is just driving across the open. But we are missing these shots. Sad, sad times. But we do manage to get one straight into the side of that 3001H. And once again, I'm going to try and move myself into a position to get shots into the guys in the middle where the cap is. But we're just aiming for some cheeky shots into this DS Pazins. But unfortunately, the shots aren't going anywhere near. And to be honest, we were never going to hit those shots. That's just... Those shots were too tight. But, like I say, we are going to move ourselves into position to get some sneaky shots into these guys in the middle. So we managed to shut down the AMD 178B. And now we're getting some shots into the side of the T-34. But we do get detected and start getting shot by something from over there. So I'm like, nope, not doing that. We're just going to move ourselves into a bit further away. We're not actually spotted now again, firing at this T-34. And this guy in the T-34 is like, what is happening? We actually end up spotting the VK3601 Sturm, or the Sturm VK. Don't know why I said it that way. And the Sturm VK is caught in a very compromised position. We managed to damage his engine with one, but unfortunately, just bouncing there. She's very sad off that guy's lower plate. And now he's looking at us. I don't really want to take a hit from that Sturm VK because that is going to hurt me. But my pulling back means that he's stopped looking at me. So I'm going to now start trying to get some shots into the back of the 3001H. Always aware of where my targets are. That's the best thing you can try and be doing, is trying to just keep yourself aware of what's going off on the map. So we shut down the 3001H, put us on to 7 kills. Now we've got the Sturm VK, which we've got premium in because that's all we've got left, which makes light work of that guy's armor. That puts us on to 8 kills, and I'm just looking at where the rest of the enemy team is. There's the T-34. We're going to move ourselves into a position to try and get either a shot on the ELC or a shot to try and finish off this T-34. We try and snap a shot into the T-34, but miss. Do manage to get one into the side of his turret. And is he going to keep driving out in front of our gun? Oh, of course he is. Thank you very much, Mr. T-34. That puts us on to 4.5k damage with 9 kills. And at this point, I'm going, the pools. The pools. 10 kills. The pools is on. Where is the Hellcat? Come here, Hell Kitty. Come here. Hell Kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. Come on, Hell Kitty, 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 kitty. Come on. Where are you? There he is. He's spotted at C1. And we are going to go after this man like a bloodhound. We want that kill. We want it. He's got 487 hit points, which means we're going to have to shoot him a couple of times. People are going to have to shoot him a couple of times. It means that it's not going to be a case of just getting there first and getting that shot in. We're going to have to repeatedly put shots in and hope that maybe we'll get a shot into him, maybe as someone else puts him down to a one-shot or something like that. We'll have to see what he does. But I did not expect him to just YOLO out. So we get one shot into his side on the move. We actually bounced that shot on his tracks, but managed to finish him off and secure the Pools medal. And in fact, I think that track shot where we didn't do any damage managed to basically mean we'd got the kill instead of just doing damage. And we finished the game with 10 kills, 4.7k damage, 62 assistance, the Ace Tanker, Devastator, Pools medal, High Caliber, Top Gun, 2,628 base XP. A fantastic game for the Bretagne Panther, a tank that I very much enjoyed playing. It is very solid tier 6 medium tank. It does everything pretty damn well. And to get a Pools medal, I think that was the 16th Pools medal I've got or something like that. Pretty damn nice. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Great success!